Did y'all know that the feds were trying to investigate Diddy years ago? The other day, I came across an article talking about how the feds were asking certain questions trying to investigate Diddy for allegedly messing with younger boys. And the man that alleged that this is the questions that he was being asked by the feds about Diddy was none other than Jimmy Henchman. Back in the early 2000s, Jimmy Henchman was caught up trafficking illegal substances, and it was a federal offense. And he met with prosecutors multiple different times trying to reach a deal to get less time on his sentence. And one of the things that he alleged is they asked him if he had any information about Diddy dealing with young boys. Let me tell you, when I came across the first article, I started digging into this because I was so shocked that I have never heard about this before. To my surprise, when I dug into this, I was able to find in these articles an affidavit where Jimmy Henchman was saying that this did in fact happen, and the prosecutors were trying to question him about Diddy. This court document that was in many of these articles writ back in 2013 about Diddy being investigated by the feds for allegedly messing with young boys had these court papers in it. And it says, on October 11, 2011, the defendant reluctantly went to a proffer with the government with the same arresting agents and prosecutors that the defendant mentioned above. And after the third proffer session, the defendant told Mr. Shigell that he didn't trust or feel comfortable as the agents and prosecutors kept asking him about crimes of violence that the defendant knew nothing about. When the defendant said he didn't know about a certain event that they asked, they accused him of lying. At one point, the prosecutors started leading their questions, trying to get the defendant to confess to things that he knew nothing about. Claimed one of those questions was about a man who was unalived, and they kept asking the defendant about it because others told them that the defendant did it. The proper sessions became more awkward with the defendant when prosecutor Todd Kamsky asked the defendant in a room full of agents about a woman and started showing him unclothed pictures of a different woman to him. The questions became even more bizarre when said prosecutor asked about entertainers' preferences, including but not only Sean Combs having relationships with underage boys. As you can see, James Roseman, that is Jimmy Henchman's real name, and this is saying that this is an affidavit by him. Proffers became more coercive for the defendant, as prosecutors and agents would say, if you give us a unaliving, look at it as a point system, and then the unaliving being the most points that you can get. Any other crimes are lesser points for us to argue in front of the judge for you to get a time reduction. Maybe you will go home. And I'm literally shocked that this was all over in 2013. It was being covered by so many people, and this is just a few. People were really shocked that Jimmy Henchman was admitting that federal prosecutors were asking him about Diddy messing with younger boys. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm shocked that I have never heard of this before until literally the other day. And I'm really curious. I want to know why they were asking this question. It seems like not even Jimmy Henchman himself figured out why the prosecutors, in fact, wanted to ask this question about Diddy, because he told them that he never knew about anything like that. Just when you think the craziness of the Diddy trial is finally over, it just keeps on going. We have a few things to talk about. We have Gina Hun now speaking out after she wrote that letter for Diddy, even though his bail got denied anyway for being a violent person, now saying, "You are sheeps. Act like I can't forgive a man I once loved. I'm not gonna kick him while he's down because y'all want me to." Baby girl, this was not the way to write this, because we all do remember you accusing Diddy of kicking you when you were down while you were pregnant. Don't even know you. The LOL goofies. I'ma always have his back. I've never been the type of person to follow crowds and trends. I'm not a follower. I am at no means one that condones talk like this, but Gina saying that she is not a follower is absolutely crazy after Young Miami was saying the stuff that she was saying to Gina. Yeah, I know you guys remember when Young Miami was telling Gina, if I wanted you to eat, Diddy would have you on your knees. You're an eater. Gina, you've been down bad ever since I came into the picture. You've been crying for a baby for 10 years. You've been around as a bee that eat and when he feel like it. You an eater. And Gina proceeds to say, free Diddy. But she is really out here making herself look like a whole fool right now. As victim number 3, Gina better just hope if she told the feds anything, it stays consistent to what she's saying now, because if not, she might just end up next to Diddy. Next thing we have is all Diddy's attorneys sitting down all of the sudden and doing tons and tons of interviews. I honestly don't know if this is like a PR thing or what is going on, but I've already seen 3 of Diddy's attorneys doing interviews about Diddy's case and his sentencing, and even talking about Donald Trump's pardon. Diddy's lead attorney, Mark Agnifilo, sat down and he was speaking about all of these different things, and he said when Diddy gets out, he had his mind on selling out Madison Square Garden. And I can't even lie, this part was hilarious because this was the interviewer's face, and she goes, "Doing what?" Really feel like this is why we're seeing all of Diddy's lawyers doing interviews all of a sudden. I really feel like they're trying to clean up Diddy's image. Another very contradicting thing that came out today from all of these attorneys sitting down and doing interviews is that Diddy's lead attorney, Mark Agnifilo, said that he's never been in talks with Donald Trump or the White House about a pardon for Diddy, even though one of Diddy's lawyers on his legal team, Nicole Westmoreland, stated the day before that they were in talks with the White House and Donald Trump asking for a pardon for Diddy. Not gonna lie, Diddy's lead attorney, Mark, being asked about this question, it was very weird in the interview. Even the interviewer asked, "Are you telling me the truth?" And he kept saying yes. She even brought up the fact that Nicole Westmoreland just stated that they were in talks with Donald Trump or the White House for a potential pardon. But he kept assuring that himself, as the lead attorney, was never involved in any talks with the White House or knew anything about a potential pardon. And I'm not the only one that felt like this was very odd. Even the interviewer said, as the lead attorney, "You don't know anything about this?" And he still said no. But he did say Diddy has brought it up and told him, go get that pardon. I feel like all of this stuff happening right now is just a dang mess, and everybody is all over the place. I don't know what is happening. But honestly, with this whole Diddy case, it doesn't surprise me. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.